So, Kevin Hart has just thrown his toys out of the pram and attempted to escape the US after the feds seemingly confirmed that he was found on Diddy's tapes.
Hey, when you hosted for Diddy, did you catch any baby oil? I hosted for Diddy. You think he's safe in jail?
Kevin Hart seems to be the latest celebrity creating some distance from Diddy. This comes in the wake of Diddy's sex trafficking arrest, which has led to the resurfacing of videos from some of his notorious parties. In 2010, Hart hosted one of Diddy's hotel gatherings filled with half-naked women and plenty of drinks. One part of the footage shows Hart, star of Jumanji: The Next Level, sitting at the edge of a jacuzzi tub in New York City's London hotel, surrounded by bikini-clad women. Several other celebrities were also at the party. To be clear, neither Kevin Hart nor any of the other celebrities present at the party have been accused of any wrongdoing or being aware of any criminal behavior. Meanwhile, Texas attorney Tony Busby, representing over 120 victims in civil lawsuits against Diddy, has hinted that others connected to Diddy's alleged illegal activities may also face accusations.
That there are other big names that will come out in relation to these charges. He says the day will come, you said this, when you start naming names. When will that day be, and how big are these names that we're talking about?
Yeah, people are very interested in that, of course. That comment has been repeated back to me, as you might imagine, many times. People are, waiting with bated breath, hoping that, I'm going to name these big celebrity names. But I can tell you this, I look at it in this context. If you attended one of these events, and we're talking about, we've heard about the white party and the freak-offs and the after parties, but there's also, impromptu parties at studios, after parties from concerts, album release parties, hotel parties. I mean, the list goes on and on. But in my view, if you attended those and you saw or knew that somebody was being given drugs, that their drinks were being drugged, and you sat by and either participated in some of this activity or encouraged this activity or allowed it to go on and helped cover it up, or were in the room while it was happening and said nothing and did not intervene, and perhaps attended more of these parties knowing that this type of conduct was going to occur, it's my view, that may not be the criminal justice system's view, but it's certainly my view that you're complicit.
In a separate viral TikTok video, Hart is seen by a bathtub holding a microphone with a bikini-clad woman seated beside him and another in the tub behind him.
It's official. We're here. Dirty Money album release party last train to Paris. It's crazy. I decided to switch scenes. Got too hectic down there. I'm up here in a hot tub doing it official. You know what I'm saying? My Trey's up here. Fabs up here, when you have a scene like this, you gotta bring balls to it. As you see, it's
Later in the same video, Hart is shown standing next to Diddy, using the N-word in a tirade, with Diddy casually holding a drink. Hart's involvement in this freak-off party definitely points toward his past connections to the rapper, but he's not the only big artist to be closely associated with Diddy. Gene Deal has recently revealed the possibility of Will Smith, Justin Bieber, and Usher all being on the tapes seized by the FBI.
Just being shopped around, a Diddy and another mill. They say the other mill is an A-list celebrity.
I would wonder if he's white or black. And if I'm looking at any black guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy, there's only one that I could come up with. And there's a few I could come up with. Will Smith, he's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black that are black actors or black in the business that's an A-lister that's bigger than Diddy, that's black? That's hard to think. But then if you got the A-listers, you got to realize he ran with that black that Rat Pack. And I don't want to even say their names because they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kushner? What's the other guy? Leonardo? Yeah, his name. Man, I don't keep up with these cats. But I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there, other people too with him. And him doing some things with some other people. So it's quite a few tapes that might be out there, what they're hearing. And I don't want to see the tapes, but I want to know if they really true. Because if they got if they got some tapes out there and it was some underage, whether it's celebrities or not, it's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be real crazy. And they're gonna have to bring that to forefront because the prosecutor's gonna want those tapes. And they're gonna do whatever they have to do legally to get those tapes. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. So we just better hope for his sake, that that's just a bunch of bull crap. But then there's lawyers out there saying, yeah, the tape does exist. Lawyers got on television to say the tapes exist. I don't really know or trust that, because they was trying to say he had a tape with one of the bodyguards and this lady that came out. So we don't know what to think until we actually see that and we get that version. You remember we had that bootleg version of R. Kelly tape?
Yeah, I remember that.
They don't even bootleg. Yo, they don't even bootleg no more, man. So it's gonna be hard to figure it out if it does exist.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be you. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people then.
Right, not at all. And somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy, you understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, he was an A-lister, he was younger, you know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too. Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro. But this is the world that we live in now, man. That these individuals thinks is all right. Bruh, when does it comes all right to be sitting there eating food off a naked woman? When did we start doing what they do? Let's keep it a buck. When did we start doing what they do? These guys is popping pills. They got Jay-Z dancing with a chick that's into capitalism and supposed to be witchcraft and stuff like that. When did we start doing that?
And this could all soon come to light, courtesy of a certain lawyer. On October 1st, attorney Tony Busby held a press conference announcing his intention to continue investigating allegations of sexual assault brought to him and to file individual lawsuits on behalf of his clients against Diddy and others who may have facilitated or participated in the alleged assault. He plans to take action within the next 30 days. Busby, licensed in both Texas and New York, said his law firm, the Busby Law Firm, received over 3,200 calls regarding Diddy. After thoroughly vetting the claims through medical reports and corroborating evidence, he is preparing to file 120 individual lawsuits against Diddy. The alleged assault span more than 3 decades, from 1991 to 2024. Among the claims, Busby revealed that 25 of the alleged victims were minors at the time of the assault, with some as young as 9, 14, and 15 years old.
What percentage involved minors? And what is the split of male and female alleged victims?
It's about 25 out of the 120, but as you might imagine, since we did the press conference, that number is growing.
Sorry, 25 minors or?
25 minors out of the 120 clients, yes, sir. You know, and the minors, they kind of fall into 2 categories. One would be the category of individuals with stars in their eyes, trying to break into the entertainment industry, who were either scouted or somehow found their way to a studio or to a location where they were being screened and either the allegation is Mr. Combs himself or those around him involved took advantage of these people in some sort of quid pro quo to try to make them a star. And, you know, in some of these cases, it was the parents who were essentially handing their child off to a group of people that they trusted and who they thought were going to make their child a star. That's one group. The second group of minors would be individuals who were recruited, whether it be in a hotel lobby, whether it be at a show from the crowd, invited to a after concert party that made its way to a hotel, whether it be to some of the parties that we all heard about. They went there at age 16. You know, there's a few that, for instance, attended a party in the Hamptons and they were only 16 and taken advantage of there. So, you know, it really runs the gamut. But you know, it's the allegations obviously are very egregious. We have to be very careful and responsible about how we pursue these. These are individual cases, will be filed. Each case will live or die on its own merits. Each case will have one or more defendants. In some cases, they'll all, you know, they may be different.
Busby also highlighted a disturbing pattern in the allegations, where many victims claim they were given drinks laced with substances, sometimes identified as horse tranquilizers, causing them to pass out. The victims then reported being sexually assaulted while others watched. Busby intends to pursue claims on behalf of his clients, including violent sexual assault facilitated with a controlled substance, false imprisonment, sexual misconduct, and unauthorized dissemination of video recordings. In addition to targeting Diddy, Busby plans to go after silent accomplices, as well as those who allegedly stood by, encouraged the assaults, and corporate entities that profited from the behavior.
Because obviously, you know, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, you know, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Right. I mean, how big an eyebrow raise are we talking about? Because you've been hearing a lot of names, presumably, in the process of all these calls coming in. And you're a pretty smart lawyer, so you can probably work out the wheat from the chaff in terms of legitimate, plausible claims here in terms of victims. I mean, are we talking about names as big as Diddy, potentially?
I expect so. I expect so. You know, obviously those are the names that people are interested in, but I've tried to make sure people focus also on corporate entities, to include banks and hotels and perhaps even pharmaceutical entities that were maybe not directly involved, but were certainly benefiting and profiting from this kind of activity. You know, those I'm interested in as well. But you know, we've seen all over social media the pictures and video of all the various individuals that attended these parties.
Many powerful people will be exposed, Busby warned. Many dirty secrets will be revealed, and the longer this stretches on, the worse Diddy is starting to look. Just recently, 6 suits have been filed against him, courtesy of Tony Busby.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
The latest filings span nearly 3 decades, from 1995 to 2021, and detail different accounts of horrific sexual assault. In 95, a woman says she attended a party for Notorious B.I.G.'s music video, One More Chance. It was there she claims Combs raped her in a bathroom. The woman said Combs brought her into the bathroom to talk privately and then began kissing her unexpectedly. She says she tried to pull away and he allegedly slammed her head into the wall, which caused her to fall to the floor. When she was on the floor, the producer allegedly hit her again, lifted her dress, and raped her. After, Combs allegedly threatened her by saying, "You better not tell anyone about this or you'll disappear." A John Doe says he was just 16 years old when the mogul fondled him at one of his white parties in 1998. The male plaintiff alleges Combs told him he had the look of a star and then ordered him to drop his pants. He claims Combs explained to him that it was a rite of passage to becoming a music star and allegedly asked him, "Don't you want to break into the business?" The then teen says he complied out of fear, anxiety, and the power imbalance he felt with Combs, and later realized what he says happened was sexual assault.
And the stories just become progressively more horrifying.
Another Jane Doe alleges Combs raped her in a hotel room after he invited her and a friend there for a party. Combs allegedly gave them drinks and told them to snort cocaine. The woman, who was a freshman in college, says Combs forced her friend to perform oral sex on him and threatened to kill them if they didn't comply. In 2006, another John Doe, who was a security guard at the now infamous white parties, claims he was sexually assaulted by Combs. The man says he began to feel extremely ill at the party after drinking 2 drinks with alcohol that were provided by Combs. The accuser says he was disoriented and alleges the Bad Boy Records founder forcibly pushed him into an open van, held him down, and sexually assaulted him. In 2008, another man claims he was sexually assaulted by Combs in a New York Macy's. This John Doe says he was an advisor at Echo Clothing, a competitor of the mogul Sean John clothing line. He claims he was in a stockroom at Macy's in Manhattan when Combs and 3 bodyguards entered. Doe alleges he was turning a corner in the stockroom when he was hit around the base of the neck, possibly with a pistol. He says this forced him to his hands and knees, and he saw that each of Diddy's bodyguards had guns in their waistbands. The man alleges he heard multiple voices saying things like, "I'll kill you." Combs allegedly approached the man and forcefully, brutally, and orally raped him for at least 2 minutes. According to the suit, after Combs was finished, he threw Doe's head aside and said words to the effect of, "Shut up or I'll kill you." And in 2021, another man claims he was drugged and assaulted by Combs and multiple other unnamed men at a party. This John Doe says he became disoriented after a drink at a New York party. He claims he was trying to leave when he heard another man say, "Hold on," and promised to help him. Doe says he remembers being in a bedroom, unable to speak, move, or fight back. He says multiple men began sexually assaulting him through sodomy and other forced acts.
But truly, perhaps the worst part in all of this is the powerful people that allegedly committed all these acts walking free right now. One big name that has regularly been associated with Diddy's horrifying crimes is Jay-Z, and he is radio silent on his best friend's downfall.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and fucking took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list.
You know, this isn't just a shot in the dark from Jaguar Wright, because several notable figures such as Saji, Knight, and Dame Dash have spoken about Jay's involvement previously.
Okay, look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's P.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up.
Just as with the names connected to Jeffrey Epstein's infamous Black Book, simply being spotted at one of Diddy's parties doesn't imply involvement in any wrongdoing, but it's not a great look either. This likely explains why many celebrities have remained silent about the charges against the billionaire, and some have reportedly scrubbed their social media of mentions related to him since his arrest. As a rapper, producer, and record label head, Diddy was often seen with the biggest names in music. He was also known for mentoring rising stars, playing a significant role in the careers of R&B and rap icons like the Notorious B.I.G., Mary J., Blige, and Usher. In the 90s, Diddy produced much of Big's 1992 debut album and has been photographed with Blige over the years, including at his white parties in 2003 and 2004. Despite attending his album release party just last September, fans speculated that a cryptic Instagram post from Blige in March, where she said she burns bridges as needed, might be a subtle reference to her relationship with Diddy, or Usher, who as a teen lived with Diddy in 1994 at the request of his label executive L.A. Reid hasn't commented on the charges either.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
what
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
However, in a 2016 interview with Howard Stern, Usher recalled his experiences at Diddy's parties. There were always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an orgy, he said.
Jay-Z have both been friends with R. Kelly for years, and Jay-Z continued to make albums with R. Kelly after all the information came out with him and Aaliyah. And I'd say this is because Jay-Z was pretty comfortable with the fact that he knew he also wanted Aaliyah, and honestly, so did Diddy. And Aaliyah's death has never sat right with me. There are so many sketchy things around her death that just don't make sense. The fact that Aaliyah was given a substance and knocked unconscious and then was carried onto this plane that she didn't want to get on because she thought that something was wrong with it that led to her death is just crazy. There's also even more disturbing information about Aaliyah's pilot of that plane, and they said that he had just joined the program 2 days prior before the flight, and he wasn't even supposed to be the pilot on that flight.
Aaliyah was sitting in a taxi as her team and the flight crew argued nearby about whether or not to take off, and she complained of having a headache. Now, reportedly, a baggage handler nearby said that someone from her entourage gave her a pill. She took the pill, and that right after, she fell into a very deep sleep. So deep, in fact, that she was carried onto the airplane still asleep and may not have even been aware that she was on the airplane. Now, we should say we don't know what that pill was. It could have been aspirin. Maybe she was just very tired from a long video shoot, and the baggage handler did say that she took it willingly, but it does reveal some new information about those final moments.
After the crash, investigators determined the small plane was carrying about 700 pounds over its limit, and this is important, the center of gravity was too far back in the aircraft.
The pilot did not want to make this trip, and he reportedly argued with Aaliyah's team because he thought that it was unsafe. So he did make those calculations, and he did decide that it was unsafe. However, after protracted negotiations...
Photos from Diddy's parties also show other notable names. One image from a 2004 4th of July party shows the late R&B singer Aaliyah, then 19, in bed with Diddy's ex-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez and music executive Damon Dash. Dash later clarified during an Instagram Live, "Nah, I didn't go to those parties. I went to one about 20 years ago in the Hamptons with Aaliyah, but that's about it. A lot of people were at those, you know what I mean?" When Aaliyah tragically died a year later, Diddy attended her funeral, but many claim Diddy and Jay-Z actually set up her death.
You know? Yeah, it's like exactly.
I'm big in it, Robert.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Justin, you...
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're
He
out.
got me a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Apparently not.
Everything ain't